Football is awesome, coming to you here as we now enter week 14 in the NFL, and the season becomes weirder and weirder and weirder. I'm host Earnest and EJ Christian rather. Anyway, cold open here before we get to, of course, our normal three guys: Mikey B of the Power Rankings, of course, Kyle Nash with the Student Game Report, and then EJ versus the Degenerate, me and Zack, of course, going at it again for week 14 picks at the spread. Zack did win this weekend. Oh, not again for the first time in a month. But this week, right now, I want to talk about quickly about collision course. And it seems right now in the NFL, if you look at the season right now, I mean, obviously it's hard to, like, the NFC is a little more defined. Like, you have your tiers. You have a tier one. Like, obviously tier one is Packers, Cardinals, Buccaneers, in my opinion. AFC, a little more of a question mark in terms of, like, what's going on. I would say maybe there is a tier one starting to develop now with the, I guess the Chiefs, despite the struggles, are still considered. I mean, yeah, Pat Mahomes, a quarterback, and any day he can always have a huge game, and their defense is playing much better now, although their offense has been very weird. We'll talk about that on the podcast, obviously, later on. But also, you have now the Patriots now, who are now 9-4. It's crazy. The Pats, all of a sudden, they won, I think it's 7 straight. And the reason about collision course is right now, there is a possibility based on what's being developed that we could see 2 years after the breakup, a possibility of a Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl, a Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick matchup. Now, we've heard the media now already today ratchet up this conversation a little bit now on ESPN, Fox Sports, you name it. And of course, they have all the side eyes. Everybody, what the hell? You know, who wants to talk about, Brady and Belichick? Who cares? And this and that. I mean, it would be great television. It would be great narrative. I mean, we all live for this stuff, man. If you love sports, love TV, we live for this kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think the Buccaneers certainly have to go through a lot of hurdles in the NFC. The Cardinals are good this year. The Packers are good this year. So there's a lot to go through before we even consider that option. But certainly right now, it looks like we're starting to see that possibility develop now. I mean, these two teams did meet actually early in the year, and the Pats did actually lose that game by a doinked missed field goal from 57 yards out, something like that almost went in. So we can definitely see a possibility, but stop hating on that possibility. If it happens, it happens. It'll be good. It's good. It's good television, and I'm not against the idea of having that a Brady Belichick Super Bowl. Who cares? I know everybody's tired of the Pats and the Bradys and the Belichicks every year. The Super Bowl, someone's in there, but we have to appreciate excellence, and that's another thing too. Also, the big takeaway this weekend in both the NFL and college football. Continue to doubt Bill Belichick. Continue to doubt Nick Saban at your own peril. Okay? Alabama was underdogs against Georgia in the SEC title game. I picked Georgia to win as well too. So I got my come up. Never bet against Nick Saban, man. And then Bill Belichick, what he's doing here. I mean, a game where Mac Jones goes 2 for 3 passing, and they still win a game on the road in Orchard Park against the Buffalo Bills, a team that's supposed to be one of the favorites to win the AFC this year. Again, this is why you don't doubt Belichick. This is why you don't doubt Saban. They are the best at what they do for a reason. They are arguably the greatest in their respective leagues and divisions, what you call it. Nick Saban arguably the greatest college football coach ever. Bill Belichick, I would say, is the greatest NFL coach ever. Doubt at your own peril, man. But I think that the overall thing here is whether or not we get Brady Belichick in the Super Bowl, whether or not you appreciate Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. We need to appreciate excellence, and we as a society like to shit on it instead of appreciating it. I think this week is sort of a reminder that the league's progressing. College football is definitely a lot more teams. Michigan's popped in there finally after a long struggle, getting through Ohio State. Cincinnati cracked the 4. Georgia had a great year until this weekend, but we just remembered it. The tried and true is still tried and true. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick still the people you can depend on when you need them. Don't doubt them. And if you're going to doubt them, do it at your own peril. Seriously. Anyway, that's our call for today. Let's bring in the guys. First, Mikey B with the Week 14 power rankings. Of course, Kyle Nash with the Student Report. And then, as I said, my man Zach and I go through the Week 14 lines against the spread. So enjoy the episode. Power rankings, week number 14 here with Mikey B, the Squid. What do we know as we not enter December? What do we actually know about the league right now? Because I'm more confused than ever.
I think we know that the wind at Orchard Park blows really hard in the month of December.
Wow, literally and figuratively. And I know this is kind of early because this is the theme of today's episode of Football's Awesome, but it sort of feel like a little bit of a collision course to Brady and Belichick in the Super Bowl. Sort of. It's a little early to say that, but the AFC's wide open. The NFC, you never know. And I told you, if you tell me the safe bet in the NFC is, I'm still going Bucks. The safe bet.
Makes sense.
So, but these rankings this week are going to be pretty interesting because I struggle with number 10 because number 10, honestly, it's almost a default move here. But then I changed my number 10 because I said, well, fuck it. You know what? This team right now, number 10 on my list. Well, let's go to you first, number 10.
All right, number 10, this team falls one spot after a questionable red zone appearance last night in Orchard Park. Good game. They were up for that game. Yes, they let up a lot of rushing yards. But when they carry the ball 47 times, I mean, you're going to give up rushing yards. I think the big question for them, though, is the defense leading into the playoffs, but I have the Buffalo Bills at number 10.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough loss last night. I mean, I to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if they play that game in a dome or normal weather, they still win that game because this team has shown that their defensive line is kind of weak. Jaguars ran all over them. Titans ran all over them.
Colts.
I mean, at some point, the Colts ran all over them. At some point, you are who you are regardless of the conditions. And the fact that
I think the thing with that though, on that specific thought process is if they're in a dome, Mac Jones is throwing the ball more than 3 times.
Right. That was old school's old school. 1875 football. My number 10, like I said, a team that right now, if the playoffs start today, they're not in.
The Washington football team.
No. However, I believe this team will make the playoffs. In fact, they may actually win the AFC South if things work out. That is the Indianapolis Colts.
I went back and forth on them.
Did you really?
I went back and forth on them and the Bills at 10.
And honestly, they're one of those teams in the AFC that right now, that if they made it to the AFC Championship game, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. That's how wide open things are in the AFC. Mm-hmm. Honestly. Number 9.
Give me Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers.
That was the team I took out of my 10. I had number 10, and I said last minute, who had more faith in? I have more faith in the Colts.
I had the Bengals there last week, and they beat the Bengals.
You saw 3 phases of Chargers team in that game. You saw a team that was up 24-0, a team that blew that lead, and a team that ran away again. And
correct.
This is why I can't trust them.
No, I think that's more or less why I don't know that I can, and I'm a Bengals fan, I don't know that I can put all in on Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the podcast last week. Kyle and I had a discussion about this, and we were doing a lot.
Finger looking like it.
Yeah, that was part of the problem. We were discussing last week about, our locks, and he had the Bengals lock. And I said, I want to do it, but maybe this week if they beat Chargers, if they win it, I'll lock them in for the playoff spot. And
I mean, they did catch a break though by somebody losing a game that they should have won this week, but we'll get to them.
Oh, but we're getting there. Number 9 for me, of course, is the last night's Orchard Park participant losing to the Patriots last night. That's Buffalo Bills. They're a playoff team, yes, but again, where are the quality wins? After the Chiefs game in week 4, what it was, where are the quality wins this year?
They went on a 4-game winning streak and then have been in shambles ever since.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. I mean, are they a good team? Yeah, but they're lucky the AFC is wide open. They're lucky no one's run away with it. But all of a sudden now, when you include tiebreaker, they're now behind 3 games in the division now. Just like that. Just like that.
Well, I mean, they do play the Patriots again.
Right.
So if they win that game, they're not as far back.
Right. They cut them in half. But, yeah, how things change in December now. All right, number 8.
I'll take the team that I mentioned in my diatribe about the Bengals getting a break. Really bad game against a really bad Pittsburgh Steelers team. Give me Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
And again, that's one of my themes with the Ravens is they're like the trust factor, and not as much a trust factor, more so the bodies. They lost an all-starter in the defensive back for the year, Humphrey. So yeah, and again, at what point can he just not sustain this? I mean, they've got a lot of breaks this year, at 8-4, and it's why Lamar should be my MVP. But at some point, number 8 for me is, hold on, let me bring this up quick. They didn't move a spot last week, but had a big win on Thursday night. Dallas Cowboys. I hear rumblings of when people are they gonna blow this lead? Relax. They're gonna win the East. The conversation is gonna be whether or not they can get back to the graces of being in the conversation with the Bucs and the Packers and the Rams and all those teams on top.
Don't count out that football team yet, but they're coming on real strong.
Well, we'll have more information this Sunday, obviously. So,
how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Number 7, who you got?
I don't know what the fuck this offense is doing, and I think this is the problem that they're going to run into in the playoffs when they inevitably get there. It's everybody's favorite overhyped quarterback. Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
This team is strange. I agree with you 100%. So we start the year, offense had its moments, seems like shit. All of a sudden, the defense is now carrying games, and their offense is kind of like up and down.
Dog shit.
It's just weird. And I'll acknowledge they've caught some breaks too in the schedule.
Sure, but let's look at it from this standpoint. And this one, to toot the horn of one Craig Horn, makes perfect sense here. You're paying somebody that plays a specialty position $1 jillion, and you're running out 3 rookie offensive linemen that are supposed to protect your franchise.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a reason why their offense is fucking struggling. And it's a reason why, when you look at it, if they get in as the 4 or even the 5, and say a team like the Chargers or the Bengals or the Buffalo Bills, who can stay with them potentially on offense and can get good pressure from their front 4. Correct. I'm sorry. Do you want Patrick Mahomes being ran down by Joey Bosa all day, or Sam Hubbard, or the DN from fucking what's the dude in Buffalo?
Shit. That's not his name. Shit.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either. I'm fucking like anytime that you look at it, like the teams that could potentially face them in the first round, if they stay in that 1, 2, 3 range, that means they're playing like 7, 6, or 5. Like you're gonna get the Chargers, the Bengals, maybe the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, Carson Wentz is not gonna fucking outthrow Patrick Mahomes, but Jonathan Taylor might run it down their throat fucking 135 times.
And that's scary.
Keep that offense off of the field. It makes Patrick Mahomes then have to press. And what did Patrick Mahomes do when he pressed? He looked like dog shit in the Super Bowl.
Sure did. We'll see how it goes, man. I mean, right now the lead the division. They'll probably win the division. We'll see what happens to them and the Chargers again. But there's definitely a lot of questions there. Number 7 for me is the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, it's a lot of how much can sustain, and I'm concerned because that division,
But you can't lose every fucking running back that you have and expect your quarterback to be your leading rusher.
Yeah, and if they win the division, it's why he's MVP this year. The same.
I mean, they are a team, like when you look at it, they're a team that should have went and traded for somebody at the deadline a million years ago.
Yeah.
That had a surplus of running backs. Trade somebody to like Philadelphia and get one of those guys. Trade somebody to fucking Jacksonville and go get Carlos Hyde, because they're not even hitting on any of the guys that they're getting. It's literally like, oh, Latavius Murray here and gone. Like Le'Veon Bell here and gone. Like just
No, I'm with you, 100%, 100%. By the way, I did like the play call by John Harbaugh on two Cruz.
Oh yeah, no, go for two there. 100% you go for two there. Try to win the game. If you lose, you lose.
Because and not only that, Mark Andrews, literally he catches that ball, it works. So
that's what I'm saying. Result oriented, you're going to say, why the hell didn't he kick the extra point and go for it? But no, I'm good.
we're playing result. Yeah.
Go for it, and see if you win. Especially that division. If you win that game, that gives you like a game and a half lead on Cincinnati. Like it puts you in a spot where
right.
Okay, you feel a little bit more comfortable even though you have no running backs.
It's interesting though because now that division, every team is 500 better. So
don't worry, the Browns will fuck it up.
Yes, they will. Anyway, number 6.
How about them Cowboys?
Wow.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
I only moved them up one spot. I had them at 7 last week, so it's not like they made a valiant and large move in the rankings for me this week. Right. But they did do a lot of the little things that we questioned coming out of the game against Vegas well this week. Yes, Taysom Hill put up a retarded stat line. A lot of that was in pretty much garbage time to me. And then he throws a really bad pick 6. So, yeah, Dallas is going to get there because of the defense. That's going to be, if they're going to be a make or break team in the playoffs, is that defense. Because Dak Prescott can go out there and throw it 785 times. Zeke can run it 300 times. CeeDee Lamb's going to run under anything. Is Dallas going to be able to make it where that offense, is the offense going to have to be on the field more to keep that defense off the field, or is the defense going to be able to get stops in big times against teams like the Packers and the Cardinals and the Buccaneers?
Right. Good point. Number 6 for me is a big bounce back by this team, albeit against the shitty Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the LA Rams. They needed it. They needed a win. They needed a big win. I mean, I know it's a shit team, but again, perception is reality sometimes. We'll see how it goes next couple weeks. I mean, big Monday night game next week. Another Monday night game for fucking divisional game, Cardinals and Rams. Looking forward to that one. But yeah, big win for the Rams, and we'll see how the season goes from there. Number 5.
I have the LA Rams at 5.
You're not concerned about them. You said last week you weren't concerned about them.
No, I'm still not. Because they're getting things that you are scratching your head about. Sony Michel hops right in for Darrell Henderson, and they don't miss a beat on the run game. Matt Stafford doing Matt Stafford things, finally not having to throw the ball 155 times a game. And Odell Beckham looks like he's finally fitting into that offense and taking over the Robert Woods role, which I thought needed to happen for that to be a team that would not be questionable moving forward.
Right.
Obviously, Cooper Kupp is arguably one of the best wide receivers in football right now.
Yeah.
If not the best wide receiver in football.
I'm there the best this year, at least this year.
So I look at it from the standpoint, I like what they're doing. I think, they're getting themselves in a position where, okay, it's not sexy. They're probably not going to catch the Cardinals unless they win on Monday night. If the Cardinals win on Monday night, you can pretty much wrap that division up.
Oh, wow, question.
Mine. So when I look at it from that perspective, I legitimately think that the Rams, if they lose on Monday night, can almost go, okay, let's just get there. Let's get as many people healthy as we can and just wreak havoc when we get there.
I agree with you 100%. Number 5 for me is this team we just discussed a little while ago. That's strange, but hey, the winning game at this point, we'll see what happens going forward. The Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, offense is weird. Defense playing good though. But like I said, they got breaks in the schedule. The toughest game they had was the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. So again, they got breaks, but we'll see if they can sustain this going forward. Okay, number 4.
Give me Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I dropped them one spot even though they won this week.
Interesting.
They played really well though. Chris Godwin is like the cheat code in Madden right now, it looks like.
Yeah.
Catching basically anything that's thrown at him. So yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers at 4. Give me more playoff Lenny though, as I have him in my fantasy league.
I did consider doing the same thing too also, but I put Brady's former team to doing the Patriots at 4. Again, 2 for 3 for Mac Jones, but it worked. This Pats team is dangerous. This defense is fucking playing, fantastic football. In an AFC that's wide open, especially. Are they a Super Bowl contender? Yep, they are. Especially considering the environment. So, That's all I say about that. And oh yeah, Bill Belichick. Remember the whole this weekend we learned something. Don't doubt Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. Don't do that. Do it at your own risk. Just saying. Anyway, number 3.
This is the team that I swapped out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Give me Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. I said this. People questioned me when I said this last week at work, but I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it here for all of you to hear it. The best defense in professional football is the New England fucking Patriots. Don't question it. The best defense in football, hands down, right now.
This has 2001 written all over again. I'm watching last night's game. I'm like, this is 2001. Seriously. And you can still win that way in this league. You can still win that way.
Solid run game, decent quarterback play, lockdown defense. Get me to a fucking February game.
Go coach also too, who's so prepared, over-prepared, So, number 3 for me, I said Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brady's, Brady and the Brady bunch, of course. They've started to play a little together now. They're getting a little healthier here and there. Gronk is back, and there's the whole humming again. Again, these next three teams are all in the same conference, but the safe pick, when healthy, is this team to go to the Super Bowl. To me.
They need all the playoff Lenny.
Yeah. And they can win on the road. They don't need home field advantage to make this happen. That's the thing.
Oh, other interesting stat line, and I meant to mention this when I mentioned New England, and we'll do it quick. 7-0 against the AFC, by the way.
Yeah, that kind of matters too.
Yeah, haven't lost a game in that conference, and yeah, they're the favorites.
Oh, and you look at the 4 losses. Dolphins week 1 by a point. Cowboys overtime. Bucks by a doink. The only legitimate bad loss was against the Saints. Week 3. That is it.
And that was still when the Saints had Jameis Winston.
Yes. I'm just saying.
So I don't even know if that's really, quote, bad loss.
Right. That's the context.
Obviously it's not pretty. Obviously it doesn't look great on paper now that the Saints are struggling, now that Taysom Hill and fucking Trevor Siemian are playing quarterback. But that Saints team had just put 38 on the team that we both have at number 2, 2 weeks prior to that. That Saints team was pretty fucking explosive. So yeah.
Yeah. And my point here is that they can easily have 2 or 3 more wins on their padded up on their win total right now.
Realistically, 1 point, a doink, and overtime. We could be looking at a team who has 1 loss.
12
rookie at quarterback.
And Bill Belichick as a runaway coach of the year. Runaway. Just saying. Number 2, you just mentioned it. For both of us, Packers, right?
Yeah.
Packers for you. Packers for me.
Yeah.
They're on the bye this week. Yeah.
They were.
So they need it. And I feel like these teams, like them, the Dolphins, teams who are playing well football now, are in the mix for playoff spots. Getting a bye this time of year is actually not good timing.
It's good for some teams that have some older guard and have guys who are dinged up. Aaron Rodgers with that foot injury. Give me a week with him not having to run for his life. Okay, fine, perfect. Teams that are running hot streaks like the Dolphins, it would suck to get a bye week right now. Yeah, you want to get healthy, but you've ran off 5 straight wins. I don't know that I want my momentum being stopped right now for a bye week. It's one of those things where it's but now getting Aaron Rodgers that extra week where, okay, he's not having the surgery or whatever right now, but now you get him off of his foot, you probably put him in a boot or something like that for a week and just try to get as much of the pressure off of that foot as possible. It's only going to help him.
The only reason I'm defending Dolphins bye week here is one reason. Do you see the team that play next after the bye week?
The Jets.
Exactly. That's why.
Oh, no. Trust me. I understand the reasoning. What I'm saying is I just don't. If I'm a team that's has all this momentum, if I was the Patriots, I don't know that I would love to have a bye week, which they're going into, obviously.
Right.
Right now, we've ran off 7 straight games. I don't know that I want to lose all this momentum. Yes, that I'm gonna have a week to plan for whoever I'm playing, and I have the greatest coach of all time. But I just don't know that I really love punting my momentum. I would just almost rather have the momentum right now.
I agree. I'm with you. All right, so we got number 2 Packers. Number 1, of course, is going to be pretty simple.
Yeah.
There's a Cardinals for you.
No question here. Give me Kyler and the Cardinals.
Yeah, a nice bounce back of both Kyler and Hopkins. They connected.
Correct.
So,
And that's the thing. You get those guys going and healthy, like, yeah, okay, that team's going to be hard to beat.
but you still hear a lot of doubt though out there about.
Yeah, because in the playoffs are a completely different game than the regular season. Playoffs, you run the ball more, you play defense more, something that Arizona doesn't have. James Conner, nobody is scared of. Chase Edmonds is coming off of an ankle injury. Their defense, now that J.J. Watt's gone, you're like, wow, I don't know who's going to really rush the quarterback. So I don't like. It's one of those things where you're almost more questioning, like, do we trust what has won previously in the playoffs?
Right.
That they don't have.
All right, as we always do every week, our stat 5, 28, 28, who you got?
Give me the Chicago Bears because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Give me the fucking Giants. I'm done. 29?
Jets suck.
Likewise, the Jets. 30.
Trevor Lawrence should have asked for another year of eligibility at Clemson.
I got sunshine there too. 31.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
This one's for the community of Oxford.
Yes.
Give me the Detroit Lions.
I'm there too. I did it as well. I did it. 31 Lions. And 32, of course.
Can Tyrod Taylor just go away? The guy's always fucking hurt. Like, no offense, Tyrod, if it ever gets back to you, like, you're a great backup, but the guy can't stay fucking healthy.
Either. He's not a bad quarterback to have.
No, he's not, but he just can't stay healthy. It's one of those, like, you're signing somebody, and it's like you're signing an all-star third baseman, and they play, like, 36 games a year because they always get hurt. You know, but then you got to hold on to them for the last 5 years of their career. Kind of like a David Wright.
Right. 30, David Wright. Why'd throw the Mets thing in there?
Buddy, because I actually really like David Wright. And it sucked that, like, the end of his career was just like,
it's sad. I know. I was impressed. I was impressed for years. I agree. 32 Texans as well too. Anyway, we'll see you on Thursday night. So Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. By the way, good job on the Viewer's Choice. I listened to that yesterday night. Thanks for the dig at me and intern Mark on 3 Count Thursday as well.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, bud.
All right, see you, buddy. See you Thursday.
All right, buddy. See you guys.
Later. Screen report. Kyle Nash with the Jack Daniels, I think, right?
Negative. Captain Morgan private stock.
Oh, shit.
That has been my jam for some time.
So as I was recording, actually, in real time, actually, you guys won't know this because we were doing a podcast and all that. We literally just got off recording. We were both guests on the Hello podcast we've been doing all season long. Being, of course, and now we are trying to scroll through and do this podcast. I've been going at it today with shows.
Yeah,
I'm at the tail end now finally. Well, all one day though. This is all one day while being a parent.
Just be a professional and goddamn perform. Jesus.
And just do it, baby. Let's do it. So I'm not complaining about it. I enjoy it.
No, I know you don't. Yeah, you're only acknowledging that the human body does have a certain level of only a certain level of resilience, and that you knock on the edge of that resilience for the sake of your fan base.
Speaking of real time, my wife just got home from work, and she texted me that I'm home, and OC is peeing on the floor. That's my dog.
I see. Well,
anyway.
I thought he was named OC in tribute to Josh McDaniels.
No.
That's been confusing.
OC when you were a New York Giant. 2 sacks Super Bowl 42. That's for the record. Anyway, let's get to. There's only a few things I'll talk today on this podcast. College playoff bracket. We find another 4 teams. In order: 1, Alabama; 2, Michigan; 3, Georgia; 4, Cincinnati. Natty got in. They got in. High water. They got in. Any gripe here?
My gripe is very simple, and I'll be consistent because I said it this way on the Huddle Up podcast as well. Bing! If you believe that Bama should have been 2, I don't have a problem with you. But these are the correct 4 teams. And the reason why you have the correct 4 teams is there is precisely 0 justification that any other team could have really cracked the top 4. I mean, really what's making this whole entire thing possible in the universe is that Cincinnati just happened to play and beat Notre Dame by double digits, while Notre Dame simultaneously did not have a conference championship game in which to show out.
Yeah. I have zero problem with this order. This is what I predicted after Saturday's results. A conference championship Saturday. It played out the same way. I thought it could have been maybe some drama in 1 and 2. Maybe Michigan's on top of Alabama. But honestly, when you look at the strength of schedule, Bama wins that battle there too. And I'm sorry, but Alabama beat the best team in college football up to this point, and beat them soundly.
I mean, yeah. And let's not go crazy with this prediction stuff, EJ. It was 50-50 because the two possible results were Bama at 1 or Michigan at 1. Everything else was going to hold.
Right.
Literally no other way it could be done.
I don't think anybody can honestly argue the 4 teams in general. Like, I mean, there's no way. Oklahoma State did the job for us on Saturday.
I mean, bro, imagine the irony to all this is the one, I think arguably the most unanimously agreed upon college football playoff quadruple that we've had since 2014 is the one where the damn G5 gets in. But Kirk Herbstreit wants to try to tell me, oh, there was no conspiracy. That's history.
One of the worst takes I've ever heard in my entire life involving college football. I actually want to read this real quick for the listeners who don't know what we're talking about here. He tweeted about a couple hours ago saying this: after 7 years of bitching and complaining from the vocal minority that the college football playoff system is rigged, and the
vocal minorities, that's cute too. But
right, and the quote unquote small guy in bold print will never get a chance. Haven't heard much from you the last couple of days. Everything okay? What's the next conspiracy theory? Can't wait, because that one is history.
It's such trash. First of all, it's not the worst take of all of college football, because I heard someone say that this year's Alabama team was the greatest of all time. That's the worst take.
That was me.
You're kind of like Jim Carrey passing gas in the elevator in Liar Liar. It was me, you know.
I can't lie.
I can't lie. Exactly. No, but this is a garbage take. And like, for context, for those who know who McKenzie Milton is, former UCF quarterback, current FSU quarterback, if you get called out publicly by McKenzie Milton, you're an a-hole. Point blank, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And it is precise response, and I can quote it because it's a very short quote. Kirk, I love you, bro. This is a bad take.
Because it is a bad take. It's a terrible take. And there's really nothing to say left about this, really. I mean, obviously, I would say it's a little too early to start breaking down who might win, who's going to win, this and that. I mean, right now, the feel is I don't see right now, based on the recent results and the fact that Nick Saban is one of the best preparers in the history of college football, maybe ever, that, you know, Bama does not lose this thing. I saw nothing in that Georgia game that made me think that, Georgia could probably improve on this and maybe they win the game. I didn't see anything that made me feel that way.
We were discussing it on Night Shift with the Black and Gold Banneret, bing, when we were talking about UCF being named to the Gasparilla Bowl to play against FU. I'm sorry, U of F.
I like it.
and there'll be I forget who it is, but there will be a significant player missing for Alabama throughout these playoffs. So there's that.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm moving for Michigan the whole thing. But I'm happy since he got in, and I hope we get some competitive games though, because we have not really gotten a lot of competitive. I mean, here and there we'll get like a Clemson Alabama or a Georgia Alabama game that's competitive and whatever. But we've got some stinkers too in this playoff. So hopefully we get some good games out of this these next 3 games. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Georgia Alabama. Was there was what was the one that Alabama lost?
Clemson.
Was it Clemson? Yeah, that was a pretty good game.
It was at Deshaun Watson?
It was D-Watt, correct. The one where Jameis won. Oh, wait, no, he got blasted by Oregon.
Shut up.
Oh, God, I keep forgetting you're an FSU fan because you love The Rock so much. Man, you and your fanhood. Go Heat, bitch. No, yeah, I mean, the finals games in general are pretty good, but yeah, we've had some stinkers in the playoff or the semifinal game. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't want to trigger a good friend from the Huddle Up podcast and from 3 Count Thursday, Big Jim Neese, because it involves Notre Dame quite a bit.
Okay, yes, he will listen to it.
By the way, bing, bing. Anyway,
the Bing die. If you know what I'm talking about Bing right now, because my studio, my soundboard right now is currently loading.
Gosh, if only you could get a voice actor to help you here.
You know,
I'll have to do.
If only, right?
Hey, listen, I've been flexing my muscles reading stories to the kids, bro. My Gandalf is off the chain. Anyway.
Another thing called football I want to touch before we get to the NFL. Well, two more things actually. Coaching hires.
Yes.
One that stood out for me more than anything else, Mario Cristobal to Miami. I said it was a good hire, although my attitude is that with all these retreads and old alum that, have played there or done something there and people are excited about, because the hometown guy, it's cute and all. I want to see results as someone who watches the game of football. I'm not a UM fan, but someone watching the game of football, I want to see the results. Show some results out the pot. That's my attitude in this whole thing. But I do think it's a great hire. I do think Cristobal is a great recruiter, and that's something that Miami has lacked recently in the last, I'd say, 20 years, and that they could definitely use a boost. And I think, and it's good to see from a perspective of the history of Miami that they're actually finally, after 2 decades, putting some resources toward this program, the football program for once.
If they win the ACC next year, will you say, "Go Canes, bitch"?
No, never.
What if we made it a bet? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But if we made it a bet, like,
I'd rather bring piss.
Wow.
Okay, that's a little too much. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, that escalated quickly. Holy snap.
That's a little much, yes.
Jesus. I was sorry. I got to reset there. Wasn't ready there, James.
Ooh. Too serious?
I almost called you James Christian.
James Christian? No. I don't like crabs anyway. So, ooh, crab legs.
You better say crab legs, because I don't want your wife to get the wrong idea. Anyways, no. Listen, I when we talked about it on the Huddle Up podcast, bing. I agreed with you that the Cristobal story in Miami was most compelling, because along with him and the fiscal commitment he represents and the buyouts of the other coaches that they represent, there's also been verbal commitments, granted to this point no actual dollar amounts delivered, but of rebuilding of facilities and hiring top level assistants, and an actual serious commitment by the institution to truly find a way for Miami is back to actually hold weight sometime in the near future. Now, I'm with you. I'll see it first. But if you're looking for that evidence, in the words of Lester from The Wire, follow the money, right?
Right.
And I think all that's a significant first step. I do like the Lincoln Riley concept in USC. Not so much because of Lincoln Riley, not saying he's a bad coach, but everyone else sucks, so there's hope. I do like Freeman at Notre Dame doing his thing, because Brian Kelly himself had said, Joel Klatt had mentioned Brian Kelly had said to him that he believed that this team was really going to mature to the max next year, that this year's team was not expected to be all that in a bag of chips. And granted, while they were toppling juggernauts like Toledo, they all are, after all, one place out of making the college football playoff. And who knows, if they had a conference championship game where they could dominate somebody, they might have found their way in. But unfortunately, they're only mercenaries that win the ACC during a pandemic. So there you go.
Right.
And then what was the other story we had? Oh yeah, Brian Kelly to LSU. I love it, even though it looks like it's going to be tough.
Could be. We'll see. I mean, LSU does have recruiting advantages, though. I will say that. They've always had that. So we'll see how that goes. Is it me, or does people don't care about the Heisman race this year?
I don't think it's that we don't care about it, EJ. And I was pondering this while I was pouring my drink to prepare. Because I found myself caught off guard with what it was. And I think what the problem was, EJ, is the narrative. We said it on this show, on the Football is Awesome podcast, and on Huddle Up, bing, that a lot of these preseason Heisman picks are not just members of teams that fell apart, but players themselves that did. Like, can anybody even spell Sam Howell anymore? You know what I'm saying? What happened to Rattler? Wasn't he supposed to be a thing? Apparently, Rattler became snake bitten. Hi-oh! So you like that? It was from the hip, son.
From the hip, son. The twice tonight they said that.
Yeah, of course they didn't see the first one. They would have to go to the Huddle Up podcast for that. Bing! No.
Fucking popular now, dude.
I do love that there is a defensive lineman finalist. I think he should win it. We both know he won't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I at the end of the day, I mean, Bryce Young's gonna get it. I think it sucks that he will. Simply because I don't believe Alabama is that prolific a passing offense per se. And I mean, at least in the past, you've had amazing receivers, Jerry Jeudy, things like that. And I mean, soon enough that like I've been in a game in person and took pictures of him in pregame warmups, back when you did that sort of thing pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah. They call it the good old days.
That's that. But it does look like I'll be getting into press boxes again here soon, potentially for not only my friends at the 3-point conversion, bing, but also at the Black and Gold Banneret, bing, by way of the various Orlando Bowls and the Gasparilla Bowl. So there you go. But there you go. Yeah, but listen, the coaching carousel has been more interesting than the Heisman race. That's what I would. Don't you think so, buddy?
I haven't gotten. There's no hype. Maybe it's just me not paying attention to what's going on out there, but very little.
Yeah.
Heisman. Very little talk about Heisman. And maybe it's just me, but and to be frank, Kyle, honestly, not Ernest, to be frank, to be Ernest.
I see what you did.
Yeah, you like that. I do think that there's been a decline in interest in Heisman anyway for the last, I would say 5 years at least.
The pandemic was certainly a reduced one, right?
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help. But I mean, I seen before that. There's been some.
I think it's been because there's been a candidate that we all knew was going to get it.
Yeah, there's no suspense.
Here, it was the opposite. We had no idea who the main candidates were, so there was no race, thus no narrative throughout the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I don't know why the hell they're putting a guy from Pitt in the damn finalist list, but whatever. Yeah. So I'll say all the above to say I think the problem with the Heisman is that there hasn't been a race. Like, listen, you're a baseball guy. God help you. But we all know that the steroid home run race rescued the whole league. Because the ish was a race. Say what you will about, how quickly Sosa fell behind the pack, because it was a 3-man race at one point, obviously, for those that don't remember. But McGuire and Bonds saved the sport, it's been said, right?
Right.
Now they're going to have a lockout again. Good luck with that ish. But, yeah, I think it's the lack of a race throughout the season.
Right. Okay. Let's get to it. NFL, and we're just gonna do this really one major topic because it's gonna center on. We'll touch on these teams as we go through this, and that is the NFL playoff picture, our playoff locks. We are now entering week 14. Like I said, it seems to be, like I said, at least in the NFC, there's definitely a tier. I would say 3 teams: tier 1, Bucks, Packers, Cardinals, and then you have tier 2, of course, Cowboys, Rams, all those teams in the middle. And of course, the wild card kerfuffle on the bottom.
Kerfuffle.
Right. But however, in the AFC, still a mess, although we're starting to see maybe a little bit of some movement at the top. Some teams sort of make some cases to be at least a tier 1 team that's still not defined as yet.
I think it's more teams falling out of the top tier than there is anybody rising, if that makes sense.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay. And that's not a point I made in Huddle Up, but, I wanted you to have something exclusive.
Right. However, though, but even those teams that were at the top pulled a little bit were not really teams we believed in necessarily either. The Titans, for example, and teams of that ilk.
Well, that's one of the ones that are falling out, for your point, too. But, and then also the Bills. I mean, I think we both still believe in the Bills to an extent. Certainly I believe in them more than other teams, like, I don't know, say the Chiefs. But, pew, 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 pew. That's shots fired. Pew, pew, pew.
I'm getting this thing, Christian. Go ahead.
But yeah, I feel like, the Bills are shooting themselves in the foot. I feel like for a long part of the season, the Chiefs were doing the same, and now they've hit the easier part of the schedule where they're kind of rising up a bit. I feel like we mentioned the Titans, so that fits. I feel like the Ravens took a step back because they're stuck having to play the toughest rivalry the best rivalry in the NFL right now this week and in 2 more weeks, right?
Okay, so before we go any further, let's go there real quick. Let's go break down the NFC first, because the NFC seems the easiest thing to do. So right now, right now, division winners of the NFC right now currently as follows: the NFC West leaders are the Arizona Cardinals. The North, I almost said Central. The North is the Green Bay Packers. Flashback. 10 Buccaneers are right now the NFC South leaders, and of course Dallas Cowboys and NFC East leaders right now. Currently, the 3 wild cards right now, if the playoffs started today, are as follows: they are the LA Rams, they are the Washington Football Team, and the San Francisco 49ers. But of course, once you get past that, there's still one team behind a half game, the Eagles. You still have the Vikings ahead by a full game, along with the Panthers, Falcons, and Saints. Of course, the Giants, Bears, and Seahawks are 2 games behind, but come on, they don't have a chance. We both agree that the division leaders will stay division leaders pretty much.
Yes.
Locks. We agree the Rams are in.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Last week we had a conversation about certain teams confidence wise. I think we were talking about 2 weeks ago definitely at one point the Vikings, the Niners.
Well, yeah, and now that the Niners have beaten the Vikings, I think we both agree that the Vikings are out now, right?
I can't necessarily say the Vikings are out.
Well, Kyle, I hate the 49ers, so I have to give the Vikings a chance.
But my God. I mean, you lose to Detroit last week. Of course, the Niners game is a huge loss now because of the tiebreaker.
Right.
So, I mean, it definitely is a hard case to make there. Give me 2 teams right now you have the most faith in right now to lock up 6 and 7 in the NFC of this group.
Good hell. Can I reword it to lack faith in the least?
Literally.
Man, golly, you would pose it that way, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't realize the WTF were 6 and 6 too. God, that threw me off.
Running up.
Slightly. Although I do think they're going to lose to the Cowboys this weekend. That's not going to help them. I really hate the Niners playing the Bengals this week. I think they're in trouble. I'm not going to rule out the Eagles sneaking in either. Damn it. The Vikings are done to me. You can't lose to the GD Lions and hope to save the day. You can't. And their conference record right now being 1-10-1 GTFO. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. I think the Niners have a bit more losing to do still, unfortunately, as one who follows this team. But golly, oh, damn it, Ernest Christian. God, what a stinker, what a stinker this is, that you have the very realistic possibility, Ernest, that 75% of the NFC least can make it into the playoffs, and one of those teams is not the Giants. Man, if you were a Giants fan, I bet you'd be pissed off.
Yep. Yep. Yes, I am. Blow it up.
Criminy. I'm gonna say that I have the least amount of faith. I'm gonna go chalk right now. I have the least lack of faith in the WTF and the Niners. At the end of the day, I feel like the WTF can win the games that they're supposed to, and I think the Niners are going to sneak up on somebody.
So let's go through the Washington schedule right now.
Yeah. Of course, when we talk about the WTF, I mean the Washington team of football.
So Washington's schedule, all 5 of their games remaining are all NFC East teams. Okay? So in order, here we go. In order.
Right.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Eagles. Cowboys. Eagles. Giants.
I mean, so they play the Eagles twice. Like, whoever's going to get in that spot is decided in those 2 games, right? I mean, like,
right. I don't like a Heineke right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're winning some decent games against decent teams, the Raiders on the road, and things of that nature.
You don't sound quite as drunk picking the Heineken this time.
No. I have more faith in the Niners to get in because they have the recent history of being able to, go to a Super Bowl and when healthy, they're frisky as hell. I said that word. There we go, frisky. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go Washington, and I'm gonna go also San Francisco as well. I think there's a good chance this is gonna hold rest of the way, but I'm not locking them in though. I'm not locking them in.
No, hell no. I think my best reason to pick the 49ers is that they don't have Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. Ironically, while showing support for the Red Tails. That's interesting, but I digress.
Weird, right? Weird. Okay, let's go to the AFC. That's more interesting. So right now, AFC division leaders right now currently AFC East, Patriots, AFC North, Ravens, AFC South, Titans, AFC West, Chiefs.
For all the trash you people want to talk all the Ravens, and for all the mistakes you want to talk Ish on, they're still leading the toughest damn division in the conference. What's wrong with you people?
And why not being the runaway MVP is probably still the MVP. Right now,
he is the runaway MVP. Everybody else is just goddamn wrong.
Runaway kind of ended 2 weeks ago, but we'll talk about that later. Your three wild card teams right now have started today in order 5 through 7. The Chargers are at 7-5. The Bengals at 7-5. The Bills at 7-5. The Steelers are of course virtually a tie behind them. The Colts at 7-6. Then you have 3 teams at 6-6: the Raiders, Browns, and Broncos. The Miami Dolphins also on fire, 6-7. So
playing who precisely? Side note.
Remember, I did a podcast on this when they beat the Ravens, and I said, look at the schedule. They could run the table, and they're on the verge of doing what I said 4 weeks ago.
But running the table isn't a very Miami thing to do.
I'm saying up to this point to get 7-7, and we'll see what happens there from that point on.
Yeah, but that's not a very Miami thing to do.
Right. So the AFC. So okay. So here's where I'm at with locks in AFC, and you tell me if you follow along with this. The Pats win the AFC East. It's over. I've seen enough. Okay.
No. Here's why it's not outright over yet. Because bear with me, Ernest Christian. Because
you need a schedule to be laid up. I can get to you now.
The Bills have a better conference record. I don't know what their divisional records are. That's where I'm at. Let me check the standings on that because I need to check tiebreakers. Because the division records first, and their division records currently tied, and there's another game between the two teams. So if the Pats hit a skid, because right now New England has played 13 games while the Bills have only played 12, right? So there's some correction in there that could still happen. Technically speaking, they're up a game and a half, which makes it look bigger than it actually is. And because that's the case, and there's still another game between the two of them, if the Pats F up somewhere, that could be problematic for them. Now, I'll grant you they still have the Colts and the Jaguars in Week 17. So I'm pretty sure we can chalk up 17 as one of those wins. That Colts game just became super important to this race, and there won't be a crosswind at Lucas Oil.
And for both teams, too. Not just for the Patriots, but for the
Colts. Absolutely accurate. Yes, thank you. No, great point by you, Ernest Christian. No doubt. But so there's no crosswind to save that ass.
So let me say this then. I think win the East. At worst, they'll win. They got a wild card at this point. Titans, I'm not locking them. I'm not doing it right now.
You have to lock them because the rest of the division is that effing bad.
The Colts are like the Ravens are a game and a half behind.
Yeah.
The
Bills.
Right, sorry. A game and a half behind and trending good. Titans not trending so well.
The Titans also have a game against the Jags still left. So there's that.
The Ravens scare me because their schedule is getting a little bit frisky down the rest of the way. So the Ravens schedule is as follows going forward. Browns, Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers.
So we've had the conversation. Yeah, that Steelers game's going to be epic, isn't it?
Yeah.
we've had the conversation about that Bengals game being uber important, right? Obviously. The Rams, I'm less worried about, to be honest. I feel like this Ravens team, this style of offense, if they get a lead, the Ravens are effed. Or excuse me, the Rams are effed. Like, you know, if the Ravens can control the ball, which is not hard to do when Lamar Demetrius Jackson is your quarterback, right? It's going to be a rough out for them. You know, everybody talks about the Ravens allegedly struggling. Please tell me how they've struggled more than the Rams. But I digress.
Right. So so far basically I have two. I'm sitting on two locks right now. Me personally, the Chiefs. Hold on,
still ridiculous. But you're still right. It's ridiculous that the division has gotten to be that bad.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's
right?
what I don't understand. Like, you know, as much as I tell you that they're not a top 10 team, because they're not, that division is awful.
Yeah. So
like,
Chiefs,
what happened? The Raiders were, well, okay, we know what happened. I mean, Chucky got busted. John Gruden got busted with emails. That's what happened to the Raiders. That front office is in disarray, and it's showing on the field. Point blank. Next question.
Here's a better question. Instead of making locks here, does this scenario hold? And if it does not hold, what changes here?
Okay. So, and I believe I said this last week on The Football Was Awesome, that that I am not a wimp like you.
No.
Awful. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locked teams. Locked teams, and I'm going to go ahead and lock the Bills as well as making the playoffs. I have 6 locked teams then.
Oh, wow.
Which means that last spot is going to come down to the Chargers and the Colts. The Bills could still blow it. Obviously, that's a possibility. I'm not there yet.
Let's look at schedule. Buccaneers this week. Panthers. Patriots again. Falcons, Jets. I like the Bills to close the deal here.
Yeah, me too. And honestly, I think I've got them down. Though it is at my peril to do so against Bill Belichick, duly noted. I have the Bills evening that series up.
Yeah, right? I think. Well, I did pick on the win against Buccaneers this week actually on my picks. However,
I can't blame you for that.
However, if they lose this game against the Buccaneers, I think they will win out Bristol way.
Yes, which would, I mean, that's 10 wins, so they're in the playoffs.
That's actually 11 wins at that point. 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. 11 and 6.
Oh, wait, so you would have them beating if they lose to, no, you got them beating the Bucs. So they beat the Bucs, the Pats. Yeah, okay, that is 4. I don't have them beating the Bucs, so I got 10 wins is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That tie, if the Steelers didn't have that tie on their schedule against the Lions, they'd be in the conversation right now.
Right, I agree. So basically you're saying it's going to come down to the Chargers and the Colts.
Yeah. And I believe last week I said I prefer to pick the Chargers because of a less difficult schedule.
I have a sneaky suspicion that the Titans and the Colts are going to switch places here. I have a sneaky suspicion.
I would love to see it, Ernest Christian.
There is too many teams left on the plate for it to happen.
I would love to see it. I believe that the Titans are the biggest fraud of a team not named Atlanta. As the fraud cons.
I mean, the schedule on paper should be doable. I mean, you look at the schedule like without context, and there's at least 2, maybe 3 wins on the schedule. But the Jaguars just come out could out of nowhere just say, hey, you know what? Let's play ball.
They could, but they're a bad matchup for the Jags. Even without Derrick Henry running on the ground, once they get past, to my knowledge, Shaquille Griffin has been, iffy with his injury status. But if let's say he's on the field, he takes care of one receiver, A.J. Brown still goes off, or, I don't know Julio Jones' status, but he's still an issue. I mean, say what you will about Tannehill, he's not used to carrying the load without a good balance. That's clear. But do you need to be that balanced against the Jags? I'm not saying it's impossible for them to pull it off. What I'm saying is they had a pretty good opportunity hosting them when they were here back last month, whenever it was.
The one thing that saves the Titans right now is the Colts schedule moving forward. Now, granted, they got a bye week, which is perfect this week.
Yeah.
But their remaining schedule is very tough. After this week, after the bye week, in order, the Patriots, the Cardinals,
oh God,
the Raiders, and the Jaguars.
It could be worse. Like, winning that Raiders game is uber important.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, what's the alternative for the Titans? The Titans remaining have the Jags, which is this weekend. No, they have a bye, then they have the Jags. No, wait, the Jags are this weekend. Yeah, I'm right. Then never mind. They got Steelers, Niners, Dolphins, Texans. Okay. So.
A little tougher to realize. A little tougher than people give credit for.
Fair.
If you got Derrick Henry, one thing, but if it's not, well,
so here's the thing: we have 2 wins remaining on the Titans' schedule, pretty clearly, right? With the Jags and the Texans remaining,
right?
That puts them at 10. If they win one of the remaining 3, which the Steelers could be that team, they get the 11 wins that I predicted, and they're in.
Because of the tiebreaker, too, also behind.
Yeah, they're also.
Indy has to win out pretty much.
Indy is already down a game in the division, although currently is up a half game in the conference. That's important, but
they have to win out pretty much. I mean, 3 and 4 is the bottom, and that's assuming the Titans slip up a couple times.
Right. Because the Titans have the Jags and the Texans left, they're going to have 7 conference wins there. So if they beat the Dolphins, that's an 8-3 conference record. That's pretty damn strong. Okay. And that puts them at 11 wins.
It's just too much to handle. I'm going to take the Titans to win the division still, unfortunately, because the optics left in the whole thing. So
hey, I'd lock the Titans next week. You're late to last week. You're late to the party.
You did. I do think, though, confidence-wise, the Colts, I still think making the playoffs. So I think what holds here for me is Pats win the division, Titans win the division. This game against the Browns is huge. Because the Browns, bad as they've been this year, they're not out of it. I think I'll still lock up the Ravens for the time being, but this weekend is going to be a case what things can come. If they win, no, the Browns I think the Browns will make the playoffs anyway. But if the Ravens lose this game, that it becomes more interesting into the Cincinnati and maybe even the Steelers.
Well, sure, yeah, and we all breathe oxygen too. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were saying obvious things.
Well, right now I'm gonna lean on the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to close the deal. Of course, the Chiefs I think win the AFC West. In terms of wild cards, confidence wise, I think the Colts will make the playoffs somehow, some way. They'll get in.
Okay.
Which leaves now 2 teams. I'll go Cincy. I'll go Cincy still. I'll figure it out, and then it comes down to one spot. And I'll be honest with you, I can see. That was a huge win for the Chargers this weekend. Huge win.
Yes, huge.
And for perception, too, because the remaining schedule, too, also going forward.
Very easy.
Giants coming up. Chiefs at home, which they were on the road. Texans, Broncos, Raiders. So if I'm going based on perception, the Chargers might be the 7th seed, or at least the last spot, whatever spot they take.
Starting to sound familiar?
So I got Bengals. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Hold on. I forgot the Bills. My bad. Ooh.
I did that last week, too.
Yeah. No, Chargers are out.
Chargers are not out because the Colts will falter in their schedule at some point. And the Chiefs winning that Bengals game. Listen, I picked the Chargers last week. I didn't lock them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not brave enough to lock them this week. But were I a braver man, I would lock the Chargers on the strength of that Bengals victory.
Both in trouble a little bit here. They need to show something next 2 weeks because the Chargers schedule next couple weeks is pretty easy.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I see at least 3 guaranteed wins here, maybe 4. So
use the term guaranteed loosely, but yeah, I mean the wins I would pick out here.
Guaranteed. Texans guaranteed, and then you pick one of the Broncos or the Raiders games. You pick one.
Boom. And by the way, the one that they don't win of the Raiders or Broncos, very winnable. Chiefs, very winnable.
Yeah. So I guess we're in the same place.
Despite the fact that the Chiefs are the 5th best team in the NFL, according to some people.
Whatever. Plug away.
See, my favorite thing, and like you guys won't see this if you're listening to it on podcasts, like EJ likes to take in content. Bing! Whenever he says something like that, he pulls away from the mic with his "prove I'm a Giants fan" smile, and yeah, I love doing pods with you so much, dude.
Awesome. Let's plug away, buddy. I gotta go to bed.
Oh yeah, don't we both though? Of course. I am a very tired Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the same, the student of the game. Check out my writings on UCF football and basketball with the black and gold banneret. Check out my writings for college bowl games and the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 3-point conversion. That is the number 3. Word 3. Yeah. 3pointconversion.com. What's that?
You always do that. Number 3, not the number 3.
The number 3, not the word 3. Yes. Well, no, I mean that's confusing. If you don't tell them, they don't know.
Right. Sure.
You know, it's marketing. Go ahead, bitch. You know.
Rude.
Don't be rude. How is go heat bitch rude? Anyways.
Yeah, true.
Don't be rude. I'll work on that one. I'll get it right. Check out my pop culture stylings on the Required Reading podcast on the Hilarity by Default YouTube channel with my friend Demosthenes Euclid, just for you, buddy, where we promise to bring you the great stuff for Christmas as we review Eyes Wide Shut. Yes, a Christmas movie classic. Hey, listen, I'm forced to deal with you idiots that think Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm answering back. By the way,
Kidman, the same. Not typically my type of woman, but God, I love her. Nicole Kidman.
I mean, you could do worse.
No, she's pretty hot, and I'm not even like into that type. It's not my type, so but yeah.
You don't like redheads? What?
No. She's a little too skinny for my taste.
Oh man, we just feed her some cheeseburgers. You can cook, whatever.
True. True.
No, man, I get it, and yeah, of course, check out my work as well with oldschool101.com and A7B in sports with my friend Captain Chris Hill and the Captain and Company Morning Show. Ernest Julius Christian, man, that's how you get it done late at night. And this night class edition of the Student of the Game is done. And so until next time, my good friend, rest well. Class dismissed.
All right, it's week 14 of EJ versus Degenerate. Guess what? Zach bounces back finally after what was it, 3-4 weeks in a row of me dominating your ass?
I don't remember what month is this.
Well, December.
Yeah, November was pretty ugly.
It's Santa time. Yeah. You lost last 4 weeks prior to this week. Oof. Wow. Yeah, 4 weeks in a row.
That was 3 weeks. I thought you were only up 2.
Well, you're down 1 now. You're down 1. Down 1 week. Got a lot to talk about these picks. Week 13 was really. I mean, I don't know. I'm still more. I guess with the AFC, especially, I'm more confused than ever. Especially coming out of this Buffalo Patriots game.
If a quarterback were to come into my office and demand money, all I would do is show the New England Patriots tape. They won, and the dude threw 3 passes. 3 total passes.
You complete 2 of them, though. He's efficient.
Actually, that's pretty weak. It should be 3 for 3 as far as he was throwing.
Right! They're all screenplays anyway, right? I believe, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, we'll get to the narratives as we go through these games. Let's get to the first game first, Thursday night football game. This is a pretty big game concerning playoff implications. The Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Minnesota to face the Vikings. The Vikings are right now 3-point favorites. The over-under is 44.5. Steelers with a steal and win against Baltimore. The Vikings, what the fuck was that in Detroit, dude?
Oh, my God. It had to do with the fact that I had money on them. and we were out at Top Flight playing golf. So, of course, the wife's going to get the win and celebrate out in public.
Yeah.
Costing me a parlay.
Oh, yeah, your wife's a Michigan native. That's right. Good weekend, though. Wolverines.
Oh, yeah. Great weekend.
Yeah. I'm going under here.
I'm just going to take Minnesota cover outright. I honestly think the Pittsburgh game was more fluky. Like, you have them locked up in overtime. I don't see Baltimore losing if it goes to overtime.
So
and you pull a play like that.
You hated the play call, didn't you?
Oh, man, I hated that play call. It was straight out of the Ron Rivera blue book on how to lose.
I actually didn't mind it, though, because I thought it was gutsy, and they almost executed it. Almost didn't count, though.
And now New England's first in the conference.
I feel like we heard that before, actually. I feel like we heard that before. Anyway, Sunday games here. Huge. There's a lot of big games on the schedule this week. Let's start here first. The Baltimore Ravens, as just mentioned. Hence, Cleveland face the Browns. The Browns are right now 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 41.5. Ooh, boy. You know, the AFC North, every team is 500 better. So, technically, the Browns still in this damn thing.
Oh, yeah. As god-awful as Baltimore looks against everybody lately, they have a great shot, but unless they're pulling out their backup in Gannon, or what's their backup's name?
Is it Case Keenum?
Case Keenum, yes. Unless Case Keenum miraculously starts in place of Baker, I want to take the under in the game. Got to be the safest bet of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm under as well, too. I mean, they just played a couple weeks ago, and it was 13-10.
Yeah.
I don't see anything different from this game, honestly. I got the under as well, too. Baltimore is nicked up like crazy, and they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble because the schedule gets tougher going forward, and the injuries continue to pile up. And key injuries, too, in fact. All right, next game here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Tennessee to face the Titans. The Titans are 8.5-point favorites. The over-under is 44 points. Tennessee had a bye week this weekend. They need it, of course. The Jaguars embarrassed L.A. I mean, we know they're pretty bad. But I'll tell you what, I'm going Jaguars on the points. I think Jaguars team is getting close.
Oh, so am I. So am I. I mean, I just have no faith in Tennessee's offense at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could miraculously show up, but I think Tennessee plus, 9, you said? Yeah, I'll take that.
Minus 8.5, yeah, 8.5. I'll be honest with you, like, Tennessee has had the goal of having, having a big lead in the division. I think Indy comes back.
Well, I mean, you lose your number one piece of offense in Derrick Henry. That's going to allow anyone to chase you down in your division. Right.
And I think Tennessee's in trouble here, too, themselves. Like, they can also miss the playoffs if things work out. Now, granted, this is such a clusterfuck in the rest of the AFC that maybe they can just get 2 more wins. But if they lose this game to a team that they should beat, that's a problem.
I don't see him losing the game. I just don't see him covering.
Right. So we'll see what happens here. This is a big game for the Tennessee Titans to get back on in their winning ways. All right, we have the Las Vegas Raiders heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. The over/under is 48.5. Okay, so this Chiefs team, I'm confused. So we start the year, the offense is back to what it was for a little while. Defense playing shit. Now it's narrative. Defense is playing shit. That's a problem. Now they're winning games, won 5 in a row, where their defense all of a sudden has been dominant, but their offense looks like a fucking EKG, fucking reading. Like 1 minute they're good, next minute down. And I get they've caught breaks in the schedule. It is what it is. But this Kansas team's hard to figure out, man.
Yeah. From week to week, I don't know who Patrick Mahomes wants to target more. If he could just settle on one go-to guy and everyone else could just fall in line behind, I think that'd be the best thing.
Yeah.
But he's spreading it out so much that it's almost like they're overthinking at times on the football field.
I agree. I totally agree with you. But yet they're still covering spreads, though. That's funny. They're still covering spreads. It's weird. And I think they'll do it again this weekend. That was a rough loss to the football team on your football team rather on Sunday.
Anytime you lose to the football team, it's a bad loss.
Yeah.
All right. You should be able to beat Washington.
Yeah. Give me Kansas City 9.5 points.
I'm just going to take the over.
Ooh, okay. Off the scoring here, you see. Okay. Next game here. This should be a snoozer. The New Orleans Saints heading to New York to face the Jets. The Saints are 5-point favorites on the road. The over-under is 43 points. I'll make this quick. Give me the Jets on the points here. The Saints are done, dude. They're done.
No, they're not done. They never quit. I can't do it. I've got to take the Saints to cover.
Really?
Yes.
The Saints?
I've never been impressed by the Jets other than their one game against Cincinnati.
They'll have that one game every month where they'll surprise you. The Titans win. They beat the Titans. They beat the Bengals here. You know, they have that one game once in a while. They'll have that impressive win. I don't know if I'll call this an impressive win, but for a Saints team that's just trying to make the playoffs, I mean, that would be a pretty big blow to the Saints if they lose this game. I'm not saying they'll win the game, but I think the Jets will keep this close. All right, here we go. Probably the game of the week, man. Dallas Cowboys headed to Washington. Your boys face the football team. The Cowboys right now are 4-point favorites. The over/under is 48 points. Look out for the football team. Y'all need a fight song, by the way. I missed the Hail to the Redskins song.
First off, we need an actual team name. The football team is a joke.
Hail to the FTs.
So,
Hail Fury.
I mean, I don't know what's more embarrassing. If the Cowboys were to actually lose to Washington, or the fact you have been touting Dallas as a Super Bowl contender. But I want to take the Cowboys to cover because every team should be able to beat Washington this year.
Yeah.
Who on that defense do you see covering CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper?
I'm with you, and of course your best player is gone for the year. This is divisional optics here. I'm gonna go over here. I think safe bet's going over. Honestly, let's go over and call it a day because do I think Dallas wins this game? Yeah, I think win this game. Am I confident they'll win this game? Like, I've seen weird things happening on this field. That's all. And we'll see. All right, next game here we have the Atlanta Falcons heading to Carolina to face the Panthers. The Panthers are 3-point favorites. The over/under is 42.5. Quickly here, Falcons win. Straight up. Carolina's done.
Yeah. I mean,
that was fun 2 minutes with Cam Newton be back. I'm back, and then me.
But it is Atlanta's defense, and the way in which Carolina's been going up and down all season, I'm going to take Carolina.
Ooh. Even not run CMC?
Yes.
Oof. All right.
I mean, come on, TMC ain't done jack anyway.
That's true. All right, next game here we have the Seattle Seahawks heading to Houston to face the Texans. The Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites. The over/under is 41.5. I'll make this quick. Seahawks win. Seahawks cover.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The big win last week against the San Francisco 49ers. There's no opponent who's trying to fight for the playoffs lives also, too.
Look, I told you they don't want to quit. They're not quitters.
Russ don't want to quit.
Yeah, now you get a cakewalk with the Texans. So
If they win a couple of these games, they're probably back in the mix again. I mean, that MC Walker is a mess. Just saying. Nothing's definite yet, especially a football team. All right, next game here we have the Detroit Lions, finally no longer winless, heading to Denver to face the Broncos. The Broncos are 8-point favorites. The over/under is 41.5. I'm gonna do it again. I had Detroit in the points last week. I'm gonna do it again. Detroit in the points. In Mile High.
Could you feel the biggest exhale ever?
Yeah.
I mean that's what the Lions did. Their fans did it, and so this weekend, Denver gonna beat them down.
Ooh.
Denver gonna beat them down.
Ooh. I mean, yeah. I mean, Denver won the game.
You have been getting so close, and now you finally got that first win.
Yeah.
You're going to take a big breath and exhale, and then they're going to get hit in the mouth.
We shall see. All right, next game here. The New York Giants heading to L.A. to face the Chargers. The Chargers, 10.5-point favorites. The over-under, 44. Did I tell you I was low-key rooting for the Dolphins on Sunday?
Yeah, because you're a Dolphins fan.
Well, I'm a Giants fan, but the Giants gained nothing from winning that game. Nothing. I want the whole thing blown up anyway. So, like, if they start winning games to end the year, then my dumbass ownership group's going to start saying, oh, well, you know what, Gelman, you can stay another year or two. And you know what, we'll stay with the quarterback because you guys show some improvement. No. It's a trap. It's a trap.
So, who do you like at quarterback next year for your team then?
Russell Wilson. Thank you. Next question.
Russell Wilson. And what are you giving up to get Russell Wilson?
You got 11 picks in this upcoming draft.
So you're giving up your first this year, your second this year.
For Russell Wilson? Absolutely.
Okay.
For Russell Wilson.
All right.
Okay. Give me Chargers to cover here. Giants are done. Pack them. Let's go. Get out of here.
Just give me the over.
That's kind of a low over, actually. 44.
Yeah.
I think the Giants can't score anyway, so maybe that's they know something.
Well, everyone scores against the Chargers, so I'm not that worried.
Well, let's say if Mike Glennon can score against the Chargers, then we got a problem in LA. Because, and by the way, the Chargers, that win against Bengals, huge win, obviously. But you saw three phases of that game. You saw a Chargers team went up big, they almost blew the fucking lead, and then ran away again.
Yeah.
This is why I can't trust them. Can't trust them. Sorry. Next game here. The San Francisco 49ers heading to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. Right now, it's a pick'em. Some spots have Bengals -1. Regardless, 47.5 is the over/under. I'm going under anyway, regardless. So I'm going under this game. This is actually a low-key big game too. Both teams.
Yeah, and I like Cincinnati to win the game. I think they'll cover.
Yeah, I
1
think.
point.
Yeah, I think they'll expect as long as Burrow's finger's okay. You know, we'll see. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the game of the week. The second game of the week.
This is.
There we go. Buffalo Bills heading to Tampa face the Buccaneers. The Bucks 3.5-point favorites. Over/under 2.5. I just tweeted a little while ago if we came on here to record. That Bills game last night was a huge blow. Not just because the AFC East situation now, because now they're 3 back, and now with a tiebreaker, now 3 back in the division. But now you have to play Brady and company. Stay alive.
No doubt.
That's a bad.
I mean,
bad.
you could have had a huge lead in the conference control.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'm going Bills here.
Well, what do you think the game plan for Tampa is going to be? Run it all day long and throw 3 times again? Or is Brady going to get to throw?
Brady got to throw a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Brady has more freedom. You know.
Something tells me I'll still take Tampa Bay to cover.
I think the Bills win on desperation. On pure desperation.
They're going to have to.
They're too good to be this bad right now.
Right. If they end up losing this game and they're 7-6, then they have to start worrying about making the playoffs.
Absolutely, without question. At this point, the AFC East might be out of reach. It could be out of reach at this point because I don't see the path stopping at this point. So, all right, 2 more games to go here. You got the Chicago Bears heading to Green Bay to face the Packers. The Packers are 20-point favorites. The over/under is 44 points. This will be easy for me. The Bears are done. Surprised I didn't make my bottom 5 yet. Packers 20.5 points. They'll cover the spread.
I thought this is too many points. Got to take the points.
The Bears are done. Bears have no bodies left now.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact it is a walkover game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, okay, this is the game of the week. I apologize, everybody. I keep saying this, but the Monday Night Football game was the big game of the week. LA Rams and Arizona face the Cardinals. The Cardinals 3-point favorites, over/under 51.5. Rams big bounce back. Against the Jaguars. Cardinals, get the boys back, Kyle Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, and they connect off the bat. I'm gonna be a little different here. I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams here.
I'm almost to the point I'm ready to give up on the Rams. And I had them really going to to the Super Bowl. So
I'm the title game.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals. I have seen nothing in the last month that makes me feel confident about the Rams.
I think this is a game where the Rams, like the Bills, desperation game here too. Also, I also think the Cardinals have not won any big games on a big stage game. The Packers game, for example, lost that Thursday Night Football. I want to see a big stage win for the Cardinals. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. I haven't seen that yet. You've seen the Cardinals winning, in the mixture of kind of like the whole Kirk Cousins thing we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Not winning, games when they're on the bright lights are on. I'm not saying this is going to happen. But the Rams desperate. They need to win. I think win this game. It'll be a close one though.
Oh, if the Rams win, it's definitely close.
Yeah, I'll go Rams. Since we have no FSU football to talk about anymore because it's all over, let's react quickly to the college playoff. Your thoughts? You like the bracket? Did you get it right? 1 through 4?
Yeah. Here's the real thought is, had Michigan not blown their game against Michigan State, would Michigan have been the 1 seed? Or would they have just gone with Alabama still because they had just beat Georgia so badly?
Oh, at that point, because they laid out the I don't know if you saw the ESPN show before they announced the top 4. They showed the strength of schedule, and Alabama had the toughest strength of schedule.
Yeah.
So they got it right, in my opinion, by virtue of the 1 and 2 and whatnot. You beat Georgia. Come on, you beat the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's it. That's all you need to say. Anybody making a case against that is this sour grapes to say, "Oh, they had Alabama." Who cares? They beat number 1 team in the country, and a team that everybody had Georgia win that game.
Yes. I know one smug little kid who I'll see at work who had Alabama, and it's gonna suck so bad.
Oh, okay. So I think I got it right, 1 through 4. I was right, So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Anyway, Zach, we'll talk later on for NBA 25 discussion.
Please don't start with Alonzo Mourning at 25.
We'll see.
All right.
I'll see you in 2 hours.
Later.
Later.